Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing good, and I'm currently so motivated to create more videos because your feedback currently is just overwhelming, truly. And this is why I'm going to test the autofocus from the SONY A7 II I got right here. And we are going to look how the autofocus works on the Tamron, my main lens, and the 50mm prime lens by Sony. Now, this lens here got a 1.8 aperture and the Tamron only got 2.8 aperture. But you have to keep in mind that the autofocus works completely different depending which lens you're using. So for anybody who thinking about getting the SONY A7 II, or also for those who already own the SONY A7 II and want to start filmmaking or also photography and they don't know or you don't know which focus to choose, this video is for you. And maybe some of you already saw the video I made about how I set up my SONY A7 II for filmmaking, and then you already know that I use the continuous autofocus. But today I'm going to show you why and also how it works. So we will go out and I will take Claire with me, and then we are going to test how fast the autofocus is really. And now without further ado, we're going outside and then we're going to see how these two lenses and the SONY A7 II with the autofocus performs. Alright, we are now at the location here and I already set up my camera with the tripod. And then we have Claire and she's going to get in the frame, walking around, and then we can see how the autofocus works. And then we will just compare this lens to the difference from the Sony 50mm prime lens. So enjoy watching. Alright, so for this focus test, I only pressed the record button on my camera. So everything you can see right now in this videos here is the work from the SONY A7 II. And you can see Claire turned away and the focus is gone. This is because we have the face detection on, and when she comes near to the camera again, the face detection works and we are in focus again. And this actually works pretty good with the Tamron lens right here. And in the next shot we are going to zoom in to 75mm because right now we are at 28mm. And now I told Claire to go down and we can see no face to detect, so the focus is not really getting anywhere. But with the face detection on, Claire's coming back in the frame and we got the focus again. Now she's turning a little bit around, and as you can see again, now she's out of focus, but this can be easily fixed when you press the shutter button, because I did nothing for this videos right here. This is really important because when you film other sequences, this can be really helpful. And now we have the 75mm on the Tamron. And there you can see the 2.8 aperture can also give you some very nice bokeh shots. And I like to use the 75mm to separate the person from the background and to give more attention to her or him, whatever. And now I told Claire to go down again, and you can see here the focus jumps a little bit. Now she's coming back and the face detection works pretty good. And here, when she's just standing still in the frame, the focus is not really jumping. This is something really important for me when I film office sequences where I just sit in front of the camera. I don't want the focus to jump away. Okay, I'm now switching this lens to the Sony 50mm prime lens. But the problem is that I only have a day filter for this size of lens. So I need to change the settings and I can't have the shutter speed 1/50. So I don't know whether you can see there the difference, but still we will keep it at aperture 1.8 so that you can see the focus. So now we are here with the Sony 50mm prime lens. And we have a 1.8 aperture here, which means the bokeh is really nice. But in the video, the focus works so terrible. As you can see, Claire is just in the frame, obviously, and the face detection is on. But it's so hard for the focus to keep focusing. So she's just standing here and the focus jumps around. And this is also why I never use this lens for my office scenes, because I want to make sure that I'm in focus and not getting out of focus every now and then. And she's just here in the frame, it's obvious, and the focus is gone. So it's working really terrible. But as I just said, we have 1.8 aperture, and when the focus is there, it's really beautiful, and we can use this to just separate the person from the background, and it's really great. But whenever I use this lens for filming, I want to make sure that I focus manually, so that I can be sure that everything is sharp and I have no focus jumps. And another negative point about the autofocus with the 50mm prime lens is that it's really loud, so you can hear it obviously. But here in this audio, the wind is just too noisy and you can't hear the prime lens working on the focus. So I will show you this later in this video today. Alright, I'm back in the office and I got the 50mm prime lens now on my camera again. And you probably just saw that the autofocus now is faster than outside. And that's because I have now a good source of light, and you probably already hear that the autofocus is working so loud. So whenever you use the autofocus, you probably cannot use the audio for your video. And now I will just switch again the camera because I don't want to finish this video like this. So to sum it up, what have you seen? The autofocus is not really fast and the autofocus is not really good. So would I recommend this camera to you, yes or no? Well, I will tell you in the next video on next Sunday. Okay, just kidding. But actually I just plan to talk a little bit more about the camera in total and not only the focus. So if you don't want to miss that out, make sure to already subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for this video. Now, but my opinion about this camera, the focus of this camera, is that it's still doing a pretty good job. And to keep that in mind, I did nothing for this video, so I didn't press the shutter button in between. And you can easily get the focus on the subject which moves around in the frame by pressing the shutter button. And when you have the focus and you have the Tamron lens on and not the Sony 50mm prime lens, you have a very good focus and you have a time where the focus is still there, and then you can take the sequence for your video. So I would say it depends on what type of videos you want to create. If you have a lot of client work where you really have to make sure that every shot is in focus, you probably need to spend a little bit more than $1,000 for this camera. But for me and what I'm doing with the Sony A7 II, the autofocus is totally fine. And to give you some more inspiration, I will link you some of my videos where I tested the video of the Sony A7 II in the description, so you can check that out. And the first link in the description is a link to my kit where I have all my filmmaking gear, and there you can also find a link to the Sony A7 II, and these are obviously affiliate links, so I get a small commission but you don't pay any cent more. So this was a win-win situation. I give you some information and you give me some commission, so I would highly appreciate it. And with this said, I see you guys in the next video and I hope you have a good day.